silver bells, it's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring, soon it will be Christmas Day. My mom hadn't been home in 3 months. She had missed the changing of the colors, the dock coming out, the gardens being closed. She hadn't made it to my university graduation, and she had missed the busy season in their business. The first snows had fallen. The house felt really empty. My dad was on his own there. My eldest sister, newly married, and my other sister off on a 6-month overseas adventure. So I moved home to be with my dad. You see, on September 10th, my mom had been in a terrible car accident. The other drivers, fortunately, had minor injuries. But my mom, she had kind of been broken up like Humpty Dumpty. Both arms, both legs, and her pelvis all broken. Now, fortunately, the doctors were way better than all the king's horses and all the king's men, and they had pieced her back together again with pins and plates and a hope and a prayer. And she was on the mend. Now, we all had hope that she would come home for Christmas. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. So here's how it works at a hospital. They won't release you if you can't transfer, right? To be able to go from a bed to a chair, being able to transfer. And in order to be able to transfer, you have to be able to put weight on something, a leg, your arms, and of course my mom had broken all of them. But it looked like her right leg might be strong enough by Christmas to support her to be able to transfer. So we really thought that there was a possibility that she might come home. Now, there's something you need to know about the way my family works. My mom, well, she's the director. Not the big, booming, yelling, pointing kind of director, but the kind of director that quietly and calmly gets everybody to organize to be able to get things done. See, as kids, our job was to look at the list. My mom always had a list. It didn't matter what we were working on. And the list usually sat on top of the microwave. And our jobs was to go look at the list, choose a task off the list, go and do the task, come back to the list, cross it off, and choose another task until the list was done. It didn't matter if we were doing a big Christmas celebration or cleaning the house. This is how it worked. So, with hope in our hearts, we decided to make our list. We knew we couldn't bring my mom to our home. We had too many stairs, so we were going to go to the cottage. Oh, Christmas tree, of all the trees most lovely. So we needed a tree. My dad and I went to a local lot we found near our cottage, and we were going to go and get a tree. And they had some cut trees, but they also had a field where you could go and cut one yourself. And so we took the saw and off we went out into the field. And, if you've gone to cut your own tree before, you've probably seen this. The trees, they don't really look quite that big when they're out in the field. So we cut our tree and we hauled it home and we got it up, and wow, it was stunning. Fortunately, we have tall ceilings, so we were able to make it fit. And we brought our ornaments from home and our decorations to set it up and make it look beautiful and familiar for my mom, hoping that she would be there. My sister Shelley and I, we went and talked to my mom, figure out where her Christmas list was, what she wanted to buy for people, and we made sure that we purchased those things and wrapped them and put them under the tree so they'd be ready for her. It's a holly jolly Christmas, it's the best time of the year. So we were ready. We really were hoping that Mom was going to be able to come home. She was on the mend. She was doing well. She was getting stronger. It looked like she might be able to transfer. We went to visit her regularly to keep her spirits up, and my dad talked to the doctors, and it looked really promising that she was going to be able to come home for 3 days. So my dad and I got talking about really how we're going to get her home. We had been doing all this planning on having her home, but we hadn't really done any planning on getting her home. And of course, we had to get her from a hospital in Toronto up to our cottage in Barrie. And so, we started thinking about it. And, when my dad had replaced the vehicle, he had bought a van thinking that, that would work better for my mom when she was able to come home. And we started tossing our ideas around, and we were thinking that, we'd be able to just, make a ramp and sort of drive the wheelchair up the ramp and into the van. And, we went out to the garage and we looked at the van and we sort of, worked it out, and we realized pretty quickly that the math didn't work. The angle was going to be too steep, or the ramp was going to be too long, and it really just wasn't going to work. And we just didn't know if Mom was going to be able to transfer into the vehicle because the seats were high in the van. Okay, the van, no go. So what was our next option? Now, my grandmother spent her her winters in Florida, and she left her car at my parents'. So it was in the garage. And so we started looking at that, plan B. So, of course, the seats are lower, and, now this was a Cadillac, okay? My grandmother loved her cars. This is one of those big old Fleetwood Cadillacs, 1979, with the great big long hood and the great big long trunk and the little granny driving. And this car, it was pretty reliable, but it was big, and it drove kind of like a boat. But we thought, okay, this is going to work. We thought, okay, how are we going to actually get Mom from the wheelchair that she'll come out of the hospital into the car? So we're out in the garage again, and we thought, okay, we'll use a board, and we could actually maybe just slide her into the car. All right, so let's try it out. So I went in to get a chair from the kitchen, and my dad got a board and sanded it down so we wouldn't get any splinters in our bum, and we tried it out. So we set the chair down, and I got in the chair, and we got the board under me, and my dad's pushing me down the board, and it's working really well until, boom, I hit the seat and I stopped. Velour, not slippery. We thought, okay, even if we can get her in, we're never going to get her out with this crazy velour. Okay, so what's next? We need something slippery. What are we going to use? A garbage bag, of course. So we got the garbage bag, we put it on the chair, I got on, and Dad slid me in, and it worked like a charm, and he pulled me back out, and we thought, okay, success, we have a game plan. Now we can get Mom home. And now it was all up to her. So the month went on, and as we got close to Christmas, we finally got word she was going to be able to come home. We did the last minute running around, bought food for Christmas dinner, got everything ready, and it was the day, and we were on our way down to the hospital. We went to collect Mom, and the nurses had a real laugh over our transfer technique, but it worked like a charm. And so we were dashing through the snow in a Fleetwood Cadillac. We had a fantastic holiday. We had 3 wonderful days of opening presents and eating meals together and sharing stories and knowing that my mom was whole and well and on the mend. It was a really amazing holiday. See, what we did was we took what could have been a really challenging situation. It could have been challenging and overwhelming and stressful and depressing, and we chose to do it a different way. We took love and laughter and a great attitude for a start, and we added in creativity and flexibility and some jerry-rigging, and we ended up having a simple family holiday where we could be together. You know that saying, when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade? Well, I say you make lemonade and then you have a party. We have been blessed with another 15 years of Christmases with my mom, and we look forward to so many more. And every year we go back to that same Christmas tree lot and choose our trees. And each year I think about that first Christmas and how blessed we were and how important it was to have that time together as a family. I wish you as joyous, as blessed, and as wonderful a holiday. Merry Christmas.